Hello and welcome to Triangle BNI. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech. Oak City Tech gives their clients an edge over their competition with web and logo design that make them stand out. They increase brand awareness and generate leads with SEO and social media presence, and then convert those leads into clients with content creation and email marketing. Founded here in Raleigh in 2009, Oak City Tech works with businesses, organizations, and brands around the country. So go to oakcitytech.com, see how they can help you grow your business, and tell them we said hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning, and each week on Triangle BNI, we bring you small business success stories from the area. And if you're not familiar with BNI, it's Business Networking International. It's the world's largest networking organization. Our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle is Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. Have 30 chapters going strong. They meet each week. We help each other grow our businesses. There's 6 core groups trying to become full chapters, and there's about 600 members each week that take part in this. So we'd love for you to go to trianglebni.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says Find a Chapter. If you click on that, it'll tell you what part of the triangle, what day, what time of the day those are available. And we want you to please go visit a chapter because you meet some cool small business people like our guest today, Cara Dudek Petri, Esquire.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
fancy.
Associate attorney at Arnette Law. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
Esquire.
Yeah,
Nice. We always like to go into the firsts on the show.
yeah,
And Esquire. I think
yeah,
I have to go back and look at the notes, but
yeah. Costs a lot of money for that.
it
3 letters. Yeah, be paying for that for a
and
while.
one day it'll pay off. But
Maybe.
right
We'll
now,
see.
your bank account, your parents' bank account, everybody's bank account, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, it costs a lot of money.
Kara's in RDO 6, which is Profits in the Park. They meet Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. at Hope Community Church in Morrisville. Are you on the leadership team there?
I am. I hold, 2 positions, actually. So I
You're
am
that good.
right?
Okay.
They need it. I hold one of the education
Mhm.
coordinator positions, and they call me the BNI Herald in my group as well. I just basically announce things because
Okay.
I can say it
Like
loud
spontaneously
and
during the meeting or when
a
you're
couple
called
times.
upon?
Yeah, no, a couple times. So I'll announce all the visitors, make them feel welcome, and then if there's any random announcements. So they created the position for me.
I
So,
like that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Good. That means you're the social person. You know what's going on,
Yeah,
is what that
yeah, they
means
just
is,
want me to embarrass everybody, so I go up there and just be
oh,
like,
I got to
"Yeah,
come. Okay. I'm going to come
yeah,
visit one day.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
So, here we are, second week of July. Or no, actually, late in July.
yeah."
How's business going this year?
It's kinda crazy. The market is insane. So we just do transactional real estate, so it's buying, selling, refinancing, and with the way the market is now, it's really hot. So
Yep.
summer is always a hot time for us, but this summer is extra special. So it's kinda crazy.
When we've had about a handful of realtors on, Amy Grettenstein, who's in your chapter,
Yeah,
and I know I'm going to forget somebody, but Trinity Greger, Jed Gronwald from Hunter Row.
yeah,
It seems like we go through the Hunter Row Rolodex because Ricky Treffer was on as well.
mhm.
And I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. And if I am, I promise I'll make it up to you. We learn all kinds of things that we hear number 70 people each day moving into the triangle.
Yeah,
We hear these stories in the basically 150 to $300,000 range,
mhm.
multiple offers, 10% over, things like that.
Yeah, it's
That's all
crazy.
new because you've been with Arnett Law since 2015.
Yeah,
Okay.
just about a little under 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of new because that wasn't happening when you joined there, right?
No, when I first started there, it wasn't as insane, the market was, but it has increased significantly every year.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, you're right, things are on the market hours
Yeah.
with multiple offers.
Oh, and you hear stories that to
Oh.
some of them, even on the rental side, there's
Mhm.
Robert Zalasso, who's a property manager here. He tells stories about they have a house coming open to rent, and he'll just email 8 or 10 people looking for stuff. Hey, I'm going to be there Saturday at 2.
Yeah,
Come on over, and then he has it rented before it's even hit
yeah.
the market.
It's
So,
great for sellers because it's a seller's
oh
market,
yeah,
not great for first-time home buyers or buyers in general because it's a different world. Like,
yeah,
if you're not super, super trusting of your agent, it's gonna take 1 or 2 houses to lose to really trust your agent to
yeah.
know, like, what position you're in when it comes to houses.
And you're almost on a waiting list.
Really? Yeah.
When you get the more specific you get, it's like, all right, well, we'll call you when that comes open.
Yeah, and
So
you can't wait. That you have to immediately when it goes on the market, you have to see it that day. If
Yeah.
you wait a day or 2,
Mhm.
you're out. You're screwed. Yeah.
Where do you as a closing attorney come into the transaction?
After you're under contract.
Okay.
I'll come in before contract if there's situations that are out of the ordinary. So if you are offering significantly over asking price, but you want to make sure that it appraises and you want special addendums, realtors can't draft special things. So
Yep.
if it's outside of the standard offer to purchase and contract, they need to get me in to draft special addendums up front, to make you stand out as a buyer with your offer. So I come in ahead of time a little bit. Most of the time it is after you're under contract though.
And you're doing the background stuff
Mhm.
on who owns it,
Yeah.
who really owned it. Yeah, the paper says this, but we found out that somebody
Yeah.
15 years ago put a lien. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure you
seller has
found.
random judgments.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. I'm sure the book you could write if you take out the
Oh, yeah,
names.
yeah. I mean, title searching, everyone says it's boring, but it's not because people are literally batshit crazy. People do crazy
Oh,
stuff
yeah, yeah.
all the time. So you find the most ridiculous things in title searches, and you call people, you're like, "Oh, remember that judgment you got 3 years ago?" They're like, "What?" Like, What do you mean, what judgment?" I'm like, the $300,000
Yeah.
you owe to so and so," and yeah.
Or if their spouse, and we had this, who was on the dang it, who was on the show? Anyways, they were talking about a story one time that the spouse had taken a loan
Mhm.
against a property and they're going to sell. They got divorced. And so they're selling the house. And the wife goes, wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. It's those kind of conversations are special, because I mean, they shoot the messenger, so I'm always the one who gets yelled at the end of the day.
That should be a reality show,
Oh, I
right?
tell people all the time, they should, like, follow me around.
Oh,
Like, the
yeah.
things people say to me is just it's crazy.
They,
Every day's an adventure.
they'll, I know what it says, but that's not really what happens. And
Yeah,
then they try to convince you on the story. You're like, no,
yeah,
it's
and you're like,
not going to work.
"No, no, it's okay. I'm not judging. It's judgment-free zone, but it's fine." Yeah,
If you are this, okay, then, because I was going to ask you about the buyers, but if you're the seller,
yeah.
what are 3 or 4 mistakes you're gonna make that you're gonna get caught on?
Um, as a seller, so, I mean, I find non-disclosure things all the time. So, sellers don't work work they're not very forthcoming when it comes to things with the house. So, and that gets caught in an inspection. So if you're one of those people who are like, "Oh, they'll never know about that crack in the foundation." No, they're going to find out. So, I mean that I have sellers who, like you said, it's a lot of times it's old judgments, old liens, bankruptcy,
Yeah.
divorces. Anything that's going on in their life is going to make the transaction harder. And if you're not forthcoming up front and you drop that on us the day before closing, things happen. And then as sellers too, I mean, I had one recently where he the property was listed a little under what the market could kind of handle. And then they accepted like 10 or 15 grand under what they listed it at, ended up appraising 20 grand over list price. So you lose a lot of money as if you don't hire the right agent. I mean, and then there's all those open door and
Yeah,
sell your
those
house. Yeah.
that's another
Quick.
hour to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about.
100%.
My guess is those are people who need cash
They
fast
need
with no
cash fast
questions,
or they're
hardly.
lazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. They want it gone quick.
We had, John Devlin with Blue Ribbon Construction on a few weeks ago talking about, this very thing, what buyers can get caught in, and we're talking about remodeling
Mhm.
without pulling a permit.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the realtor, we're laughing, I think I got this right. Don't tell your realtor some things because they have to disclose that.
Yes. Yeah, ethically, yes.
Right.
They need to disclose. So, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna lie, you gotta keep it to yourself, I guess, but that's not a good thing either.
Is okay, we'll get into, the seller part of it here in a minute, but want to introduce Cara. Each week when you visit a BNI chapter, there's a featured speaker, and are you guys 10 minutes or 5 minutes?
10
10 minutes,
minutes.
okay.
Yeah.
Everybody gets 10 minutes to tell about themselves and their company and funny stories and all that. They are introduced by the member bio sheet, so I've committed this to memory, so we're gonna do this. Cara Dudek Petri, Esquire,
Mhm.
associate attorney at Arnette Law. Congratulations on the associate part of it since 2015.
Yeah.
Location and years in business for the law firm.
The law firm has been in business for 10 years. So she has been open. It'll be 10 years, I think, in the next couple of months. And she started out on her own and
Who
she's
is
built
she?
it. Keisha Arnett. She's
Okay.
killing it. So she started out on her own and really has grown. Our office now has 3 attorneys and 6 or 7 support staff. and we were just named Best Attorney in the Triangle by Indie Week.
Oh,
So,
wow,
yeah, we
congratulations.
just
Okay.
won that award, and we're still on a celebration high with
There
it.
you
We
go.
just had a big party last week, kind of rolling with it. It
Right.
was
Did
there was, like, 94 attorneys who were nominated, dropped us down to the top 4,
right.
and then we won.
Does this allow you August 1 to raise your rates?
I wish. I wish. No, no.
But that's the sole is that the sole focus, real estate law?
Yeah, we are just real estate. We are transactional real estate too. So, I call it happy law because I don't sue anybody.
Yep.
So
We're
it's buying, selling, refinancing. If you want to sue somebody, don't call me.
but you know
Yeah.
people if they
I
wanna
could
do it, so I
refer
guess
you
they
out
have.
to a bunch of BNI
Yeah,
people,
there you
just
go.
not me.
There
Yeah.
you go. The next question is previous jobs.
Mhm.
Now, I have your work history. You're young enough. It didn't take long to find your work
Okay,
history,
yeah.
right? We get the best stories, those high school jobs
Oh,
or that
yeah.
first college job that's so memorable. Sometimes you gotta fall on your own sword, go, "Yeah, that was me."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess my first job was McDonald's,
There you
which,
go.
I mean,
In
is
outside Pittsburgh?
outside of Pittsburgh.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I quit on Easter Sunday. That was a great story.
Why?
Well, because everybody called off except for me, and so they had me take the order, go make the food, and then hand the rest of the order out the window. I did it about 4 times and then was like, "I'm done. I'm done." And I'm crying the whole way home and go home to my dad and just crying, saying, "I quit my job today." And he's like, "Do you have another job lined up?" I'm like,
Mhm.
"No, I'm 16."
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Was it
yeah.
you and the manager there?
It was just me and the manager, and they were just like,
I hope they
"Do
fired everybody
everything."
that called out. That's what
I
I
wish.
love because I've had some other jobs where I've managed people, hourly, younger,
Mhm.
different range of people. And I tell them, don't call out every other Friday, but show up every Tuesday. I
Yeah.
got that figured out.
Yeah.
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 So Easter Sunday, they don't show up like, oh, they'll think I'm
Yeah,
sick and
right?
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they fired all of them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who knows?
occupations, I mean, areas of interest and what you like to do.
I am I play on a softball league in town. I like doing that. We play every Sunday. It's co-ed. And we drink a lot of beer and
Yeah.
play softball.
What's the team name?
We are the Bat Attitudes. Yeah.
Ah, your team fitting of the name?
I would guess so. Yeah. It's an interesting name. I
Eh,
didn't come up with it.
who is this team made up of?
It's made up of a bunch of 20 somethings. It started out a couple years ago. A realtor of mine, Ryan Fitzgerald, he started the group, started the team with a couple realtors, clients, old clients of ours, and stuff. So it's kind of grown to more of like a friend group, but
Mhm.
mostly everybody on the team has used me for their closings. So I'm like the resident attorney of the
Okay,
team. Yeah.
and you play second base,
Second base.
and people dare not slide into
They
you.
better not. No,
Okay.
no.
How you good at turning the double play?
We actually turned one
There you
this
go.
Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had 2 opportunities. The first one, we did not make it, but the second time, yeah,
Did you
backed it up.
taunt the poor person you threw out at first?
No, it was way too hot. It was not the weekend to do a lot of
Okay.
crap talking, yeah.
Oh, what time did you guys play on
2
Sunday?
o'clock. It was
Oh, boy.
miserable. Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Alright.
miserable.
Next part of the bio sheet is family. So
Mhm.
tell us about your family.
Most of my family is still up north in
Okay.
Pittsburgh. My brother, he is in Michigan. He's the director of recruiting for the University of Michigan football team. So he has a
Well, his
crazy
coach just made some headlines the other day, didn't he?
I guess, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mr. Harbaugh. So,
Yes,
yeah.
that's my brother's boss. So that side of my family is up in Michigan. And then down here, I have a 4-year-old daughter who is awesome. Her name is Gwen, and
And she is you,
she's me.
you were
Oh
telling
yeah,
us.
100%
Alright.
me. The things that come out of her mouth are
Yeah.
just it's hilarious.
Now, are you to the point where you're saying things back to her and you stop and go, "Oh, my mother said that."
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of she quotes me to me, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting. She gets a little cupcake for dinner, for dessert after
Okay.
dinner, and she gets 1 every night. The other night, she was like, "I want 3 cupcakes." And I'm like, "No, you get 1 cupcake." And she goes, "Fine, 2 cupcakes." And because she's 4, and that was way better negotiating than I thought she could do, I was like, "Alright,
Yeah.
fine, 2 cupcakes." Yeah. So, I mean, I got out negotiated by my 4-year-old.
Are there any other lawyers in your family?
No, no, there are not. I'm the
Okay.
only lawyer. Actually, I'm my brother and I are the first ones in my family to really, like, go to college.
Oh,
My dad
wow.
was an
Okay.
HVAC mechanic, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so, like, my brother and I were the first ones to go.
So that lawyer blood's flowing through your daughter. She's
It
already
is.
ready.
It is. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, she could come out of the womb doing closings. I mean,
Okay.
when I was pregnant with her, I was at Moore and Alphen, a different firm in town, and I call them the puppy mill of real estate. Like, it's new construction.
Okay.
I was doing, like, 10 closings a day. So,
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I
Okay.
mean, the 2 years I was there, I probably did almost 2,000 closings. So, yeah.
Well, in a couple she's 4?
Mhm.
Alright, well, in a couple of years, we'll have you back on. I wanna hear the story of how she negotiated some little boy out of his lunch in 1st
Right?
grade. I
Right?
just wanna hear that because I know you'll be a proud mom,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, 100, yeah.
How did you come up with the name Gwen?
Um, actually, her dad picked that name.
Okay.
I was convinced she was a boy. So when they told me it was a girl, I was like, I had to like get
What do
over
I
it.
do
I
with
was like, what
that?
do
Yeah.
I don't know. I was gonna be a football mom. Like, what is going on here? Yeah. So it was actually after Spider-Man of all things, Gwen Stacy, and I was like, I put a hard path, like hard no on that. So I was like, I
Okay.
like the name Gwen though. So I
Alright.
made it Gwendolyn Rose, made it pretty.
Okay, and I thought maybe with your age range, it was after No Doubt with Gwen
Oh
Stefani, and I thought,
no,
you never know."
no,
Okay.
no. But
Right.
it's a good. It's different enough, but not weird.
Alright.
Yeah.
What's the thing you're working towards? What's your goal?
With work or
Yeah,
in
yeah,
life.
either.
Um,
We're good.
Um, with work, we are very much trying to get more realtors, building the relationships that we have, and
Okay.
we're preferred attorney with a couple big firms in town, which we're very proud of, and kind of cultivating those relationships, and then using those to kind of boost over into to more firms. Yeah.
And your burning desire then, not in the legal world, is to what?
Oh, I'm gonna be a house guest on Big Brother, 100%.
That was
Yeah.
one of my questions to ask you.
Oh,
We'll
oh,
get to
reality
that. Okay,
television, yes.
okay.
Oh,
I
that's my life goal.
I
Big
I'm
Brother.
dangerous now because I'm on Twitter,
Oh,
and I
okay.
can follow
Oh,
stuff,
I
and,
say like
oh, do I learn a lot about people on Twitter.
Yeah.
You nuked American Airlines one day.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
coming home from Hawaii? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Oh,
not
yeah.
feeling that, yeah.
And then, what was the restaurant, their bartenders?
Oh, but
Yeah.
was it Purgatory in Pittsburgh where I
No, it was a
crashed the
name I'd
oh.
recognize. It was like a Applebee's or something like that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
evidently, based on the tweet, it sounded like one of their bartenders serving you was drinking, and you ended the tweet with, "Not cool."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
I
Twitter's the
like that.
place. Twitter's where you
Oh,
go
yeah.
to, like, call out businesses,
Well, and
yeah.
I don't know why I'm on Twitter other than my son tells me I have to be, but I'm not perfect. I don't feel like I'm perfect enough to be on Twitter, so
Oh, yeah.
by the end of the show, everybody's gonna know you real well. They're getting to know
Yeah.
you now. Tell us something we don't know about you that we haven't heard yet.
Oh my goodness, something you don't know about
What'd
me.
you use on your last 10 minutes? What'd you tell your chapter?
Um, oh, usually I just do free legal tips, and just tell them crazy stories about closings to, like, not be like that person.
Give me a law school story.
A law school
Yeah,
story.
give me
Yeah,
one of
trying
those third-year law school stories about when you guys were thinking you're just smart enough to
oh,
yeah.
well, I was in the juvenile law clinic at Central. I went to NCCU School of Law.
Yes.
Very, very good clinical programs. So your 2 and 3 all year, you can kind of shadow an attorney and be with that attorney and do those programs. So I did the juvenile law, which is kids who got in trouble.
Mhm.
Nowadays, kids can get into a fight in the lunchroom and get charged with a misdemeanor. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things. But I had a girl, the client. She was like 14 years old, and she was stealing cell phones out of lockers and then giving them to her 19-year-old boyfriend to sell. She
Oh.
wasn't very smart though, because every cell phone has like find my iPhone.
Yeah.
And I mean, they all were found in her book. Like, I mean, it was not the smartest
Mhm.
of the crimes. Um, but it was one of those things where like common sense wise, you want the judge and the court and everything to be like, this girl's 14, like this is
Mhm.
her first offense, whatever. But I mean, she was charged with like very serious crimes that would make her not get financial aid, like and things in her future. She could have screwed it all
Yeah.
up. But I learned very quickly that that's not the type of law that I should practice because I like almost adopted the child. Like I
Yeah.
was like, your parents suck. Your boyfriend, no. Like I'm
Yeah.
like yeah. So I learned very,
Let me tell
very
you why you
quickly.
shouldn't be dating him. Let
Yeah,
me
exactly. I was lecturing her on men and men suck and this is
Yeah.
not no, you're too pretty for this. And like the attorney who I was working under was like way too emotionally
Yeah.
invested in this. I'm like, I know, right? This is like, yeah, no.
As I tell people, we're not real bright sometimes, but we're fun usually,
Yeah.
but we're predictable.
Yeah.
If the same situation happens 100 times,
Hmm.
99 times out of 100, we're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
If the football game's on, we're gonna do the same thing. So,
Yeah.
We are here with Cara Dudek Petri. Did I say that right?
Mhm.
Okay, Esquire, associate attorney at Arnette Law. Triangle BNI is brought to you by Oak City Tech, where they help you reach your goals with proven technologies for increasing traffic, leads, and sales. Go to oakcitytech.com, tell Drago we sent you, and he will take good care of you. All righty, here we go. Best judge.
Best judge, like TV judge?
Just answer the question.
Okay.
Yes, TV or movie. TV, hang on a
Oh,
sec. Which best judge, Judy or Simon Cowell?
Simon.
Okay.
Simon.
Yeah, you too. Now that I've met you, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it
No,
now.
he's
Right.
just like yeah.
Yeah.
Judy's good, but she has to like hold back a little. He
And
doesn't.
the TV judges like her are arbiters. You have
Yes.
signed paperwork saying,
Yeah.
"I abide by whatever she says."
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's not, yeah. It's all for
And she
show.
is worth a ton of
Yeah.
money, like 60,000,000.
Yeah.
I mean, good for her. That's what makes this country great. Good for her.
Yeah.
So, I like that a lot. Let's go ahead and get to quit looking at my notes, will you? All right, this you can't. I'm the opposing attorney. All right, I'm the yeah. I'm the DA here. You're on
Oh,
trial. All right,
okay. All right.
let's get it out of the way. You went to West Virginia. Take me
Yes.
home, country roads. Very proud. I
Yeah.
went to Tennessee.
I'm sorry for
Yeah,
your
no,
loss.
well, yeah. You
Yeah.
guys kicked our butts in football,
We
but we
did.
handed you your ass in basketball.
That's
And
okay.
I don't know about you, but I would rather have won the football game.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So the
Okay,
football
all
game
right.
was great. Did you go?
No, I did not.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did. It was in Charlotte. It was so
Yep.
close.
Yep.
Yeah, we went. They had that really long rain delay, the lightning delay,
Yep.
but it was still fun. Yeah.
I liked well, there's 2 games that got my attention that we played in. I like when my rednecks gathered to play your
Yeah, we're
rednecks.
the rednecks. Yeah.
Yeah, because we get each other.
Yeah,
We can
that's I
tailgate with
we
each other,
enjoyed
absolutely.
that. That tailgate was
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah. And then the game I did go to was at Bristol Motor Speedway when we played Virginia Tech,
Mm,
when there's 150,000 rednecks. Now
yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah.
We saw some that was fun, so I
Yeah.
enjoyed
You
that.
see some
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we're both good in football, but we're not arrogant enough to walk in, so we have
Well, no,
fun,
we
yeah.
can't be. We've never won a national championship. Being a
Well,
West
I
Virginia
have.
fan is
Now let me throw
miserable.
that out.
Yeah.
Tennessee has, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
since you've been alive, we've won one, so
oh,
just wanted to throw that out there.
well.
Let's go back to the sellers here.
Mhm.
We talked about the 3 or 4 things buyers should be aware of,
Mhm.
when they think they can get something past the closing attorney.
Yeah.
What are the 3 or 4 things when a seller sees something, they gotta go, "Okay, stop right here."
Sellers or buyers?
Excuse me,
Buyers,
buyers,
yeah.
yeah, would say, "Stop right here. We need to look into this a little bit more."
Well, I think from a buyer's perspective, you have to because it's such a quick thing now, because houses are only on the market for so long, you have to get in there and
Yeah.
go quick. I mean, I have buyers who have put offers out on 10 different houses and lost all of them. So on house number 11, they're like, "I need a house. I want this house." They'll throw an enormous amount of money down as due diligence to know that they're going to get that house. And that is not the smartest thing to do because you don't get that money back.
And I've learned that, one as a consulting director, one of my other chapters, would the realtor was talking about it, and Donna Aguaya was a realtor, and Donna was talking about that because she was educating us on she had 5 offers for a house, and this
Mhm.
was a couple of years ago, which is why it was only 5, but one of them was 10,000 over the asking price.
Mhm.
One of them was 5,000 over, but it had 10 grand due diligence they put down. And she had said, "Well, so I told my buyer, go or my seller, go
Yeah,
with that offer." And
exactly.
we're like, "Why?" And then she explained, "Dude, because that means
Yeah,
you're all in.
that means
If
you're
you
all
put
in.
$500 down, I can walk away tomorrow if I find a better house.
Exactly.
I'm not walk
Yeah.
usually I'm not walking away from 10."
No, yeah, in North Carolina, you put down due diligence and earnest money. The earnest money is
Yep.
refundable if you back out during inspections, but the due diligence is not. So, I mean, I have houses all the time. I mean, you have to stand out, and there's ways to stand out. One of them is to show how serious you are, and that's putting a lot of money down in due diligence. But if you've only saw that house once for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
you gotta be real sure that that's the house that you want because you're not getting that money back.
And I'm sure people buy houses that they really like back in the day,
Yeah.
you could look at it probably on the market 3 weeks or a month longer,
Yeah.
and you could go in it a couple times. You could go at 8 AM, see what the road was like, and then go at 6 PM. Not now, right?
No, no, you don't have that the luxury is gone. You have to do all that during due diligence. So you have to like in your 2 weeks, 3 weeks of inspections, you have to do all of that legwork that a lot of times you would do before you even
Yeah.
put in the offer. Yeah.
It's amazing that in that 150 to 300 range, the things that buyers have to do.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, I can't be there at 3 o'clock. I know it just went on the market this morning at
Yeah.
10. I can't be there at
There's
3.
people who do, they send their agent on FaceTime, and their agent FaceTimes the house because they can't
Ah,
leave work, and
okay.
they put in an offer after they virtually walked the house with their agent.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't get asked anything about the offers.
Not typically. I do when it's out of state buyers because in like
Okay.
New York, New Jersey, there's attorneys draft the contract. So if you bought a house in New York and then you come down here and you're like, why is my real estate agent drafting a contract? They're not trusting. So they'll call and they'll say, hey, can you review the contract real quick before I sign it? And I'm like, it's a standard piece of paper. Do
Okay.
you have any specific concerns? If not, this is the standard offer to purchase. Like it's not anything out of the ordinary. The agent can't write in weird things, so it's really just a boilerplate contract.
And you talked earlier about, the realtor going through on FaceTime.
Mhm.
Again, let's talk about potential buyers or actually even sellers. How can they find the best attorney? The best realtor? What are they looking for?
Well, I think finding a realtor is probably the most important thing that you're gonna do. Right now, there's a lot of people who are buying and selling on their own, and they think they're gonna save that money. You have things like Open Door and all that stuff thinking anybody can sell this house. The market's so hot, I'm a seller. I can just throw up a sign in the yard and it'll sell. They're probably right, but realtors have expertise for a reason. They're there for a reason. And my nightmare closings are the closings that they decided to leave out the realtor.
And we'll get to the
Yeah.
FISBO. If you now that you know what you know about, real estate law,
Mhm.
when you're going now, you need a plenty of realtors so you can have your pick of them. But what were the 2 things you would want a realtor to know or to be able to do for you to hire them as your realtor, knowing
Yeah,
what you know?
from me, like things that I've learned to know what I would want in a realtor is location first. If you are trying to buy a house in Fuquay and you're going to use an agent who has always done Raleigh Cary, probably not so helpful because you want an agent who is good in the area that you're looking for because um, they're gonna know that the extra little things that you might not have thought of. Um, also, you new construction's huge. So, an agent who's very well
Mhm.
versed in new construction makes all of the difference. I mean, I built a house and the agent I hired, and when I built my house, she was very, very well versed in new construction and taught me a few things. Um, Gave me ideas that I would have never come thought of.
And that's one of the things we never think of when you buy a house that people they don't have to get a realtor, but the builder's gonna represent themselves.
Mhm.
And that's why people we never thought about or I'd never heard much about it, but why people should get a realtor even when they're doing new construction.
Oh, you definitely because the on-site agent represents the builder.
Mhm.
You need to have your own representation, and you don't as a buyer, you don't pay for your real estate agent. That money never comes out of your pocket. It's either being paid by the builder or the seller. So as a buyer, walking around without an agent, not smart. You're it's just shooting yourself in the foot because you're not paying for it, and now that person has your back.
And also when you're building a house, what I've learned from the mortgage people that have been on the show is the the builder's mortgage package, not always the best.
Not always the best. The builders, I mean, I worked at a new construction firm for a very long time. Builder contracts are builder friendly. They're written very, very builder friendly. They try to steer you in the direction of their preferred lender and their preferred attorney as well. You don't ever have to use the builder's people,
Right.
but if you accept incentive in order to do so, then you have to. So if they're like, here's $1,000 in closing costs, but
Okay.
you have to use my attorney and my lender, then the only way to get that $1,000 is to do it.
So where would you draw the line at an incent knowing what you know,
I
where
wouldn't do it for 1,000.
what would you take as a buyer go, "You know what? That's a good deal."
I mean, it really just depends. If the financing package with the builder's preferred lender is similar to what you shopped around and found, and then they're throwing in appliances, blinds, and a couple grand in closing costs, you
Oh,
might consider it.
okay.
But I mean, just for $1,000 or for nothing, there are some that
Yeah.
they don't offer jack and they're telling you to use their people.
And
I
th
would
but they're
never.
assuming the buyer doesn't know they can
They
get an
are.
agent.
They are. They're assuming the buyer doesn't know they have an agent. I mean, there's even agents that don't realize they could tell the buyer that you don't have to use the preferred attorney or the preferred lender. So, I mean, it's really
Oh,
just educating and guidance because no contract can force you into an attorney-client relationship other than, like I said, you accept incentive in order to do so. Because then there's offer, there's the acceptance, and there's consideration. If someone's just forcing an attorney-client privilege at you, attorney-client relationship at you, that's not okay.
if you are building a house, can you pick and choose, "I like your package, but I wanna use my mortgage person."
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
alright.
Always.
'Cause everything what I've learned, everything's negotiable.
Exactly.
As a parent, everything's
Yeah,
negotiable.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
But a lot of people going back to it, if they are building a house, read up on some things on
Read
you don't
up
you
and, when you're hiring a real estate agent, make sure that they have worked with that builder before. They have a relationship. They know what kind of stuff comes included, doesn't come included. They've built enough houses to know, is it smart to pay $500 to have the builder put in the garage door opener, or does your agent have a guy who can do it for 250? I mean,
okay.
you can when you're in your selections meetings, it really makes a difference. Knowing having an agent who has those, like, almost BNI connections, and
Yeah.
I know a guy I can send you here that it'll save you money instead of just doing it with the builder. And if you don't have an agent who has those kind of relationships and that expertise, then it's not, you might as well represent yourself.
We are here with Cara Dudek Petri, Esquire, Associate Attorney at Arnette Law. She's been there since March 2015. She's in RDO 6, Profits in the Park, Tuesday mornings, 9 a.m. at Hope Community Church in Morrisville. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech. Oak City Tech gives their clients an edge over their competition with web and logo design, and that makes them stand out. They increase brand awareness and generate leads with SEO and social media presence, and then convert those leads into clients with content creation and email marketing. So you are killing your competitors. Founded here in Raleigh in 2009, Oak City Tech works with businesses, organizations, and brands all around the country. Go to oakcitytech.com, see how they can help you grow your business. Say hi to Drago, tell him we sent you, and I know he will help you because he has helped me set up my website for my business coaching I have going on. You can go to wired2change.com, the number two, wired2change.com. If you know anybody that is wanting to start a business or grow a small business, we'd love to help them. My partner, Trinity Greger, who we talked about earlier with Hunter Rowe, friend of the show, she's been on. We'd love to help somebody do that. So please go there and see all the good work that Drago does in building a website. West Virginia and North Carolina Central Law School.
Mhm.
There are many wonderful things in the triangle. There are many hidden gems, and that Central Law School is a hidden gem in
It
this market
really is.
because Duke and Carolina have such a big footprint.
They do. They have a big footprint, but Central, I think, has the best
Yeah.
reputation. Our grads, we stay. Duke, I mean, there's probably 5
Yeah.
Duke grads every year that take the bar and actually stay in North Carolina.
You'll see
UNC,
more
same thing.
Carolina.
Yeah, you see more
Yeah.
Carolina, attorneys sticking around, but Central, we stick around and we make a difference.
What was the
Yeah.
connection that got you to Central?
Honestly, I applied to 10 different law schools. I got into 6 and Central was the cheapest. I was all about money. And I thought North Carolina was great, so I just migrated south. I've been just coming down.
If money was not an option, what school that you got accepted to would you have gone
I
to?
probably would have went to Pitt because,
Ugh.
it's where I grew
They don't
up, it
even
was
belong
home.
in the
I
ACC. That was
agree.
such a bad decision.
It made me wanna throw up in my mouth by saying I would have went to Pitt because I went to West Virginia, and that was
Yeah,
our biggest
yeah.
rival, so but it really would have just been, I could have stayed at home. Like, I could have went back home.
What was the connection to even apply for the law school at Central?
I actually, one of my advisors at WVU, they gave me a list of names and said, like, the best state schools because I was looking for a state school,
Mhm.
and they said, like, if you're looking down, like, warmer areas, North Carolina, Florida, they were giving me, so I got the name from one of my advisors. Yeah.
Very, very nice. What's the hook for you in the legal field? What'd you see? What'd you hear? What'd you watch one day?
I don't know. My family would say that since I was, like, a little girl, I just was always debating and negotiating and whatever, which is definitely
I'm
true.
shocked. We've been
Yeah.
here a half hour. I'm shocked to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah, no, I mean, in 2nd grade,
Bless your
I
mother's heart.
oh, yeah, right? In 2nd grade, like, I hold my pen weird, like, I don't hold it right. Instead of, like, putting your pointer finger on your pen,
Yeah.
I put my middle finger, so I hold it weird. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
All right.
weird. And everyone commented on it in every closing I'm in. But, so I held it weird, so I had straight A's in 2nd grade. My teacher gave me a B in handwriting because I was just holding my pen wrong. No other reason. And I went to her, I went home crying, and my dad was like, "Well, you go tell her, you exactly what you
Mhm.
just told me, you go tell her," and I did, and she changed my grade from a B to an A. So,
Ah.
I think that is when my family was like, "She's gonna be a lawyer," because I renegotiated my grade like freaking it was like in the movie Clueless, like
Yeah.
she renegotiated her grades. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
When do you have to declare what field you're going to focus on in
Law
law
school,
school?
you don't. Law school, they have to teach you everything because the bar exam teaches everything. And Central is really good about helping guide you to pass the bar the first time. So you learn everything, you have to take it all. You can start doing your internships in
Okay.
fields that you like. That's why I did the juvenile law clinic. I thought I was going to be a defense attorney. I thought I wanted to represent kids. But it's not until you graduate past the bar and get your first job that you can start really pigeonholing yourself into fields that you like.
I go back to the story you told earlier about this 14-year-old girl. I can imagine you now grilling her boyfriend on the stand
Oh,
and just ripping him
yeah.
to shreds. Poor
Yeah.
kid.
That one, I mean, I had a really good one too where a young girl was like, she was drinking and driving, but they charged her with underage drinking, which is fine, but they should have charged her with a DUI, but she didn't have a driver's license, so they didn't feel like I mean, there was a lot of weird things at play, but that was the first case, like, the first time I represented a kid, and this wasn't in the clinic, this was after I had already graduated. I did juvenile work my first year, practicing, and I won that case because the cop, as soon as the cop saw that she was underage, he didn't do the real field sobriety stuff.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't do the real he didn't do enough. So when I actually was questioning the cop on the stand, I knew I was winning because I could see the judge's eyes. Like I knew I was making the right points. And then when so this girl was 14, drinking, driving, on drugs, whatever. She ended up walking away from it. And it was in my mind, I was like, I wanted to jump on the table and scream, "I'm the law, bitches." Like, I was so happy. But I knew, like, I had to contain myself, 1, because I'm a professional, 2, because, this 14-year-old girl, she was not a good girl, so I can't show her,
Yeah.
so I had to take her into a room and be like, "You won, but you did not win. You did not win today. Like, you should have never been here." So, it was one of those
Okay.
things where but yeah, that
Mama bear came out early,
I
right?
I
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was only, like, 24 and I was telling her, like, I
Did
was
you
yeah.
enjoy the litigation
I
part?
loved it. I did. I liked that kind of, like, it was, like, defending work.
Okay.
But litigation, no, I hate every second of it. That's my first job. Like, the practice was a general practice firm. She did a little bit of everything. I hate suing people because even when you win, you lose. Nobody is happy. And, like,
Yeah.
I would go to clients with, like, these amazing settlements, and I'd be so happy for them, and they're like, "No. Like, no, this sucks. No, I don't want that. I want everything." And I'm like,
You can't.
"You can't. No." So it was miserable because nobody was ever happy.
Better TV or movie lawyer, Perry Mason or Vincent Gambini?
Okay, Perry Mason, I think, is way before my time. Vincent Gambini, though, I'm all about it. I'll watch My Cousin Vinny anytime it's on
It was
TV.
on the other day, and
Yeah.
that's what prompted this
Oh my god, yeah.
question.
I'll watch that every time it's on TV. He's amazing.
But Perry Mason is the standard name that gets thrown out because he
I
was the
know
first one,
that name, yeah.
just like in race car driving, or at least probably up to the last couple of years, but all the time I was growing up, "Oh, who do you think you are, Mario Andretti?" And
Okay.
now people are going like, "I don't
Who?
know." Yeah, exactly. So, but, yeah, My Cousin Vinny was hilarious. The
That's
scene with her on the stand, Marissa Tomei,
mhm.
is as good a scene that Hollywood has ever produced with
That
the
was
head
amazing.
bob and the accent.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
Now I like when the other attorney, like, gets up there and starts stuttering and can't
And
yeah,
yeah,
that's one of my favorite
I'm
scenes.
sure if he wanted to voir dire
Oh god.
the you watch enough shows. Now, my
Mhm.
guess is talking to my sons, they're in your age range. Suits and all
Yeah.
those, right? So you like that,
I
okay?
watch it, yeah.
Okay, all right. What are the what are the law scenes in a movie or TV show that just drive you nuts? Because that's not like anything I
Oh, it's
do.
Suits 100, like,
Okay,
all
alright.
like, everything in Suits is not
Cameron, I
real.
think you got that one
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So it's so hard to watch because it's so not like that. Maybe in, like, really, really big firms in New York City, it's somewhat, but
Yeah.
no, no.
But the courtroom scenes in movies you've watched growing up or now, are there a
Yeah,
couple that just go, "You know what? That's not even close."
I mean, almost all of them, and not
Okay.
like because I mean, real law is really boring.
Yeah,
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 so you have to make it kind of, like, crazy for
yeah.
people to wanna watch it because real law is not that fun.
Did you have to take public speaking or an acting class, and should lawyers do that?
Uh, no, but yeah, I think a lot of lawyers should. There's a lot of lawyers who they belong behind a desk because they're just
Yeah.
yeah.
I go back to 5th period biology in high school. Back in the day, you'd have to ask your parents this, but back in the day, we had the overhead projector. So you turn the lights out, put the little in, look up, and, I'm asleep because the teacher was so boring.
Yeah.
And so when I see local news, they're showing like a minute clip from a local case, and the
Uh-huh.
lawyers just, well, that ain't TV.
Yeah, it's not TV, that's why they don't show it, yeah. Well, and that's part of why I like real estate because I work with people,
Mm,
like normal people, then and you didn't come to me because something bad happened to you. You came to me because you want something good to happen.
yeah,
So like I have these relationships with my clients and in closings where we can chat and I can say, "Oh, you're moving to Fuquay. I live in Fuquay. That's awesome. Here's a great restaurant recommendation." So like I
yeah,
can build a relationship with people and have like a normal conversation and not everyone here like, "Hi, this is Kara from Arnette Law," and hang up on me because no one wants to talk
yeah.
to a lawyer. Yeah.
It's like a salesperson
Yeah.
walking in, drop in. It's like, no, dude, we don't do that
Yeah.
today.
Exactly. Get hung
Is
up
that
on a
the
lot.
only time you see the client?
Sometimes. I mean, we kinda see people ahead of time. I talk to people a lot ahead of time on the phone. Um, uh, coming into my office before closing, not so much unless they're dropping off earnest money, like additional earnest money or something, but, um, some people too, we ask them to come in early for wiring instructions if they
Okay,
if
yeah.
they are weird about emails because there's so much fraud. So, but no, I talk to people a lot on the phone. Like, I mean some sellers and stuff. So, like, I come off really, really good in an email. Like, in an email, it's I can be mean and, like and then they look at me and they're like, "Oh, wait, you wrote that email?"
Yeah, where's the
So
rest of
yeah,
you?
what
Right.
happened there? So, I had a
I
seller
imagined you
once
6'4" and
exactly, they're like so I had an only email relationship with this seller who was a very hateful man, probably the most hateful man I've ever worked with. He was he would write me these weird dissertation emails, like and I get bored after, like, 3 lines, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Why am I reading this?" And, like, he would say weird things, he quoted movies to me. He told me he had a lawyer, I asked him who his lawyer was, and he told me Johnny Cochran, RIP, and, like, that like so I'm reading these emails like, "Why is this, like, happening to me?" So when he finally comes to the office, I, like, walk into the room, and he looks at me, and I was like, "Hi," and he goes, where's the lawyer?" And I was like, "You're looking at her." I was like, "It's me, it's Kara. We've been emailing for weeks." And he's like, "Oh, didn't expect you to look like that." And I was like, "What does that even mean?" I was like, "Why? Because 'Cause I'm so young?" And
Yeah.
I like, "What like that?" And he's like, "Okay, listen here, young lady." And yeah, and it just, like,
But you
spiraled.
hear that.
Yeah, all the time.
It's
Yeah.
not fair and it's not right, but I gotta believe
Oh, it happens all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I walk into a room and they're like, "Well, where's the lawyer?
yeah,
Are you the paralegal?" or whatever, but I'm like, "Oh, it's because I'm so young and pretty."
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll kick your ass off the softball field,
Right?
right? Do not slide into me and say
Yeah. Yeah.
during your time at Central, you studied abroad in Costa Rica.
I did, that was really fun.
How
I
long was that, and what
it was
what were
a
you
summer.
supposed to be what were you supposed to be doing there, and what did you really do there?
Okay, I was supposed to be studying law and legal systems, at the University of San Jose. I did that a little
In Costa
in
Rica.
Costa
Who
Rica,
fell for that one?
right?
Yeah.
So I did that a little, and we studied alternative dispute resolution there too, seeing their differences, like, with mediation,
In
arbitration.
Costa Rica.
Yeah. What I really did was, go, like, zip lining, I went bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, yeah, and that's what I did.
You're
Yeah,
killing me.
yeah. That was the best part. I studied abroad in, undergrad too, that's why I did it in law school, 'cause
Okay.
it's the experience.
We are we are here with Cara Dudek Petri, Esquire, who had to go to Costa Rica for how long?
About 7 weeks, I
Okay,
had
so
to, they forced me.
if you wanna study abroad in Costa Rica, go to North Carolina Central Law School, guaranteed to get that. Kara's with Arnette Law. She is a member of RDO6 Profits in the Park. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech, where they help you reach your goals with proven technologies for increasing traffic and leads, which turn into sales, which is going to make you a lot of money. So you got to go see Drago at Oak City Tech. Tell him we sent you, and he's going to help you a bunch. Technology is in
Mm,
every industry. You guys are doing e-closings now.
kind of.
What is that?
It's really cool. There's a handful of lenders who are doing it, but there's no such thing right now as a true e-closing in North Carolina. Just because we aren't really that progressed with notarizing and things like that. We are a very technological friendly firm. We e-record, so we record everything online. We don't drive to the courthouse to record. Keisha Arnett and I both are electronic notaries. So we can notarize electronically.
In any county in the state?
Um, Essentially, yes, but North Carolina, like I said, you're halfway there, and then you have to take a step back because as an electronic notary,
Oh, yeah.
I can do it electronically, but I still have to be physically present with you. So it makes zero sense for me to actually notarize it electronically when I have to sit next to you anyway.
So if I come into your office with my laptop sitting across from you with your laptop, you can notarize
I can do it like
e-closing?
yeah, or I can just pull out my stamp and stamp
And
it for you.
I grew up here and I love this state, but there are just some laws here and
It
rules that
is,
are just
yeah. Like
goofy.
Virginia, they have e-notary statutes too, but you can Skype call, like you can FaceTime. So if you're FaceTiming with somebody, I can see you on FaceTime and notarize it if I was in Virginia. And that makes sense. That's
Yes.
how you would want to
Yeah.
do it. But North Carolina would just not fully there. But
Okay.
there are there are a lot of lenders who do they call it a modified e-closing. So you will electronically sign every document that doesn't need notarized, and then when you come to me, you sign 5 documents with me, just
Okay.
like the note, deed of trust, and a handful of things that need notarized, and then you're gone.
Is that standard or do the buyer and seller have to ask for that?
The buyer would have to ask for it
Okay.
because even like the movement mortgage does it. Even movement mortgage who they can do that modified e-closing type thing. If you're a first time home buyer, your loan officer might recommend you not to do it
Yeah.
because you don't know what you're looking at
Is that fair? Is that the right thing to
I
do?
think it would be a fair assessment
Okay.
because first time you're buying a house, you're gonna want to see all of the like because
Mhm.
if you're e-signing your loan
Yeah.
documents and there's a lot of things in there you might not fully get and you're not sitting with an attorney when you're e-signing.
But so if you've bought or sold 3 or 4 houses, you kinda know the process,
Oh yeah.
you should ask for your realtor or your mortgage person to do the e-closing stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
if they
Alright.
offer it, I would totally do it because it saves everybody time and as a buyer, if you're worried about how long it's going to take to close and you've done it before, it's par for the course, then do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's my shameless plug to get my grandson's name on the air because I do this every week. So you talked about Big Brother earlier.
Yes.
My youngest son Cameron's in the studio here. His big brother he has my grandson in Charlotte, so they'll be coming up to visit through this week. Oliver will be a year old on Friday, and that was I get him into every show, and I don't really care what anybody says. So, so you have a 4-year-old, so I've got
Mhm.
a 1-year-old grandson, and it's just kind of fun watching them grow. And when they grab onto something, just I love when the light comes on. It's like, oh
Mhm.
wait, I can do that.
Yeah.
Because Oliver, he likes climbing up the steps, and I go behind him and just make sure he doesn't fall down. And so it's
Yeah.
great. So Big Brother, the last tweet I saw on your Twitter account, which was a few months ago, you've been silent, you've been quiet,
I'm bigger on
was you were
Instagram.
ragging on Bachelor.
Oh, I
Yes.
love The Bachelor too.
Oh
So,
my, why?
I'm obsessed with it. Tonight's the men
But
tell all.
but why? You know everybody is on
I
there looking
don't
for
care.
a modeling deal, right?
That's fine. See, this is why I get along with a lot of people in closings because I watch every crap television show there is. Like literally anything. I watch the Netflix stuff that I mean, I watch everything. I don't know how I have the time to do it, but I have a minor in binge watching. So I
Okay.
can watch
Alright,
all of those.
fair.
Um, but reality TV especially, that is like that's my thing. Like Bachelor, Bachelorette, Big Brother, yeah.
Your
I
burning
live for it.
desire is to be on Big Brother.
Not desire, I will.
You
Yeah,
will, okay.
yeah, words of affirmation.
And why?
Well, first off, it's an easy reality show because like I don't have to do Survivor. I'm not like living on an
Yeah, I
island.
wouldn't
So I
wanna
mean, I
do
don't want to
that,
do that.
yeah.
So you're in a house and it's a social game. Yeah, there's like physical competitions, whatever, which I'd be fine at, but it's more the social game and I would kill it. I would never tell them I was a lawyer, but I would kill the social game. Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah. You can't.
I'll
I
buy
can't.
that.
They would get rid of me so quick because they'd be like, oh, she's too smart. Yeah.
Yeah. which you would be. Well, that
Probably.
would it would take about 3 minutes to figure out, "Oh, she's the smart one,"
Yeah, well, I can
'cause
play dumb.
they're not real
That's fine.
bright. Okay. When the microphone comes down, here comes a good
You know
question.
it's all directed.
No, the producing is directed. Yeah, the producing part, they steer people in directions, but the actual game, don't ruin this for me. I will be on Big
I was
Brother.
gonna say
Do
I
not
was gonna
ruin
say,
this.
no, but Santa
Yes.
Claus,
They produce it, yes. Like, The Bachelor, I'll give you that, but Big Brother, no, don't take that from me.
Have you applied for
I
this?
did, I've applied twice, but those 2 times that I applied were not, like, my best self. So I'm gonna give 'em my best
What
self.
do you have to say to get on there?
I don't know. I've read books. Like, I've done the research. I'm telling you, I will be on Big Brother. But I think that the 2 times I applied, one time it ended up being a, season where they brought back old house guests, so I couldn't have been on it anyway. And then the second time, whenever the show comes out, you're like, "Okay, these are the people I competed against," and it was a bunch of, like, very, very young, like, 20-somethings. Yeah. So
Uh,
I was married with a kid, so it wouldn't have worked for me. That's
My
for sure.
favorite is on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, which I don't watch, but I get snippets every now and then, and, Jersey Shores when they said, "No, no, no, this time that's my soulmate." It's like,
Yeah.
"Dude, come
Well, I
on."
mean, some of those
She just
bachelor
built
couples,
different. That's why she's now
some of these
finally
people really do find love. Let them live.
for like an hour.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm all about it.
they don't look like they need the show.
They probably don't. They don't. No, because yeah, I wanna, yeah. No.
You should be well, could you be a consulting attorney on one of those shows?
I'm sure they have them because of all the crazy
Well,
things that can happen.
then that okay, we're talking about side hustles before the
Oh,
show,
yeah.
okay? There's gotta be a law degree in dumbassery that some all these people need lawyers, and that's what you could be. You could be a consultant of
Yeah.
the lawyer to all these shows, so
Yeah.
in case so nobody dies, which
I'm sure they have them. Like, I mean, they
oh,
have the
yeah.
agents, they have the producers. Yeah, they have all the
Of course,
people
you'd have to
keep it
move to
from
Hollywood. I know that'd drive you
Yeah. I
nuts.
don't wanna live in California.
No, LA's too big of a city, so
Yeah. Yeah. I like to be
jeez,
like, what
Big
was it?
Brother.
Big fish in a small pond.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen there,
Not
so
not there, no.
oh, so if you had to rank so if you're on an island and you get one show and only one show, what would it
If I had to
be?
pick, like, my favorite show of
To
all time,
watch.
okay, it's probably Friday Night Lights. That's, like, my
Oh,
favorite show of all time.
okay.
Yeah, I
Alright.
watched that on maternity leave when I had my daughter, and I watched 72 episodes in 6 days. I'm really proud of it, but 72, I lived in Dillon, Texas. Like, I was obsessed with the show.
Oh, in West
Yeah.
Virginia,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it was football season. I had my
Yeah.
daughter in September, so I was all about it, but I watched 72 hours of television in 6 days, and it was a lot. It was an investment, but I was all in.
Did you read the book or see the movie?
I saw the movie, but I like the
Yeah.
TV series way better than the movie.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
fluffed up the
Yeah, the
storyline with
TV
TV,
series
which is what
was,
you have to
oh,
do,
it was
so
so, yeah, I
oh
was all about it.
gosh. I so if you had to do a closing if you were the closing attorney for any celebrity on this planet, who would you want that to be for?
Any celebrity?
Any celebrity of anything, acting, music,
Oh my goodness.
sports.
It would be like a tough, like, it would be like a toss-up. Like, I love Justin Timberlake, so I would be like,
Saw the tweet about when they announced that she was pregnant, saw that.
yeah,
I've been through your whole yeah,
I do love
yeah.
Justin Timberlake, so I would
Oh,
be
yeah.
into that, but, like,
And I'm not stalking, but
that's fine.
I'm
Actors, I would probably say, like, I would need a Ryan Gosling or a Channing Tatum, but I would be so embarrassed. My face would be so red the entire time, I wouldn't be able to look at them. Yeah, but it would have to be, like, a really good looking man.
your first tweet, not the first thing you did was retweeted something. Your first tweet was about it sounds like one of my, family gatherings on my wife's side,
Oh gosh.
alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
it's
probably, yeah. I
'cause
went
I
to
went
West Virginia.
yeah, I know,
Come
when I
on.
would yeah, and I'm I'd read that and I went, "That sounds like my in-laws," which is great because I love
Yeah.
hanging out with them, but everything's around food.
Yeah,
So
well, I mean, my family, we're Italian, so at breakfast, you're asking what's for lunch. At lunch, you're talking about what's for dinner.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's all it is.
When was literally the first time you ever heard BNI?
It actually was, I would say when I started at Arnette Law, like, about almost 5 years ago. So that's the first time I heard about it. Keisha Arnett is a very, very big proponent of BNI.
Yeah.
Arnette Law, she said, a big reason it kind of flourished up front was her BNI connections. She was in it many, many years ago. As the firm has grown and everything, it's kind of hard to get out and designate that time. So when I got on board with her, we really wanted to get back into BNI. So that she let me kind of take that role.
The relationship in BNI between the realtor, the
Mhm.
mortgage lender, and the closing attorney and the insurance person
Mhm.
is crucial.
It's crucial. The real estate power team,
Oh, yeah.
everyone calls it.
Yep.
It's very easy referral circle. I mean, and most of the time there's 4 or 5 of us that touch one transaction,
Yep.
which is great.
Oh, yeah. What percentage of the deals you've done in 2019 have come from BNI in general?
Probably like 10%,
Okay.
a good number. I would say I get about between 6 and 8 a month of
Okay.
BNI referrals. And our office does a little over 100. So
Okay.
we get a good bit. Re- Refis now are a big thing that I'm getting from BNI
Yeah.
because not just the lender in my group, lenders in different groups, I'm getting referrals from them.
Yeah, the rates keep going down,
Mhm.
and most chapters don't have a closing attorney.
No, and our fees are really, really reasonable when it comes to refis.
Yeah.
So, and I'll go to the client. We're somewhat mobile, so
Yeah.
if it works in my schedule, I'll meet you somewhere and do your closing.
Do you drive to people, or do they have to come to you?
Both. It just really depends on the time of day. With our preferred real estate firms, they kind of like us to go to their office sometimes. So we'll do closings at real estate firms. I've done closings at Starbucks, Bonefish Grill, like kind of wherever, but ideally not now. But we
Yeah.
actually just opened an office in Fuquay, which is closer to my house, which we're really excited about. We can start doing closings there August 1. So that'll be another satellite office we have. And then we have our main office in Morrisville, which is great because it's
Mhm.
kind of right in the middle.
Yep.
But we close up in Hillsborough at Cool Banker offices. We close in Cary at Keller Williams, and yeah, kind of go all around. Live in my car.
You've learned, again, going back to the book you would write one day.
Oh yeah.
What would the first chapter be?
Um, hmm. It would probably just be how I'm sane and not an alcoholic. Because there's many a days where I'm like, "Well, I'm looking forward to my wine after my kid
Mhm.
goes to bed." Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I could the things that people say to you when yeah. I guess I just have that face. People just tell me weird things.
I think a lot of people are like that because I get that too.
Yeah,
I don't get probably the things that they tell you money wise. I don't get that, but some people, I guess, if they feel comfortable around you, they just say like,
I don't
"Oh
know.
yeah, I did that." I'm like, "Why?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
have enough
like
space up there." You
I
know?
wish it was just money stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
have like,
Oh yeah.
it's like personal things, and I'm
Are
like, "This is not
Now, are they looking to cleanse their soul, or are they looking for you to go, "Oh, well, that won't even come up. It won't be a factor."
I don't know. I think they're just like there's a lot of times where I talk to people all day and I start to question my own sanity. I'm like, "Am I the crazy one or is just everyone I like
Yeah.
talk to today crazy?" And like then I look at people I'm like, "You're driving on the same road as me. Like you're living life out there. I'm terrified. You're out of your mind."
Do you remember your first transaction you did?
My first real estate transaction, I
Yeah.
do because it was actually for a friend.
How stressful was that for you?
Really scary because it was the first closing I did, and it's for a friend who I'm trying to, like, not look stupid in front
Yeah.
of, yeah.
So where does a lawyer mess up in all this?
Oh god, they could mess up a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, especially in real estate.
Have you seen that happen?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Is
that's title work. When you go back in title and you
uh,
find the
'cause
mistakes, it's 9 times out of 10, a lawyer made that mistake.
because you're basically affirming that we looked over this title and
Mhm.
everything, no issues or no red
Exactly,
flags.
because then it has to be insured by the title company for you to have the
Ooh,
transaction, so
okay.
I have to sign the title opinion certifying everything's good, so when I go back and I find mistakes, it has to be cleared up, yeah. So when you call a lawyer and you're like, "You screwed this up,"
Yeah.
like but I
Oh,
knock on wood because I don't want anyone to call me
yeah.
and tell me I screwed up, like,
That's
I
a
hold my
sinking
breath all the
feeling.
time, yeah.
Do your parents introduce you as my daughter, the lawyer?
Oh, 100%,
Oh, I
yeah,
would too. Yeah,
yeah.
that you got it as a parent.
I
My
mean,
my
yeah,
son, the doctor, my daughter, the lawyer.
yeah,
Just yeah, you got to lead with that.
yeah,
And you're like,
but then you
mom.
get then I get questions, they're like,
Oh,
"Oh, you're a
at
lawyer? By the
parties, yeah.
way." Yeah,
It's you, the insurance person, the accountant,
mhm,
or the golf coach for guys at a backyard barbecue. Yeah, I got this hitch in my swing. Can you? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and you're like,
You get
"No."
questions like
Like, we
no.
like, "No, I don't know your" your
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Yeah.
Or you look at your watch, go, yeah, it's office is
Like,
closed.
oh, I
Sorry,
just
yeah.
do
Yeah.
transactional real estate.
Or
Yeah.
or just say, let me see your wallet. And they're like, well, I'm $150 an hour. So let's start
I
with
wish.
that.
Yeah. Like, I require a $2,000 retainer to answer your questions.
That would be any desire to have your own shop one day?
No, I kind of I like helping Arnette Law grow. Like
Mhm.
that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I enjoy having that kind of business. I never really saw myself as a business owner. My like life goal is to practice for like another 20 years and then I want to be a professor. Like I
Oh,
love
cool.
speaking engagements. We do lunch and learns all the time. I really enjoy teaching. So that's my goal. Like I don't want to own a business, have my name on the wall. I want to be a teacher.
I got it for you. You could do summer classes
Uh-huh.
in Costa Rica.
Right?
I just
That's where I
it
need to
just
go.
came to me. I don't know
I
why,
can
but
teach Central's Costa Rica study abroad program. I will write an email when I leave here. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
or let's see, where do all the cruise ships dock? Yeah, Puerto Vallarta,
Mhm.
Cabo.
Hawaii, I may
Yeah,
need
there
somebody
needs
out
to be
there.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Well,
where I'm at.
everything's if you look at a lot of the universities, there's a lot of online stuff. So
Mhm.
you literally could
Could
teach
teach
from
from
there.
anywhere. Yeah. I
That's
mean, in
funny.
20 years, it's all going to be online.
Your daughter will be out of the house. You're good to go.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
So
I'm good.
too
Yeah.
funny. If you need to find a good closing attorney, if you need advice on finding a good realtor, Cara Dudek Petri Esquire from Arnette Law can certainly help you. Go to arnettelaw.com.
Arnette-law.com.
Law.com.
Yeah.
So Arnette Law was taken somewhere by somebody in
Possibly.
Riverside,
Yeah.
California.
We got a dash.
But go there because there's a lot of if you're buying or selling, especially for the first time, there's things you need to know. So please go do that. Go to trianglebni.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a box that says Find a Chapter. Click on that and find a chapter to come visit. If you or somebody you know is starting a business or thinking about starting a business, wants to meet other successful small business people like Cara, can help you out a bunch. But please come visit. Cara, we've enjoyed it today. Good luck with
Yeah.
everything. And
Thanks.
good luck with getting on Big Brother.
Yes. You guys can watch and vote for me. Thank you.
We will see you next week on Triangle BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.